What up, Buzz? You tapped in? Okay, Goose, you tapped in too? All right, Chicago, y'all tapped in? All right, boys, let's crack 'em. Feel like Mike in the fourth with the ball in my hands and I'm taking a shot. I'm the king in the madhouse on Madison, whether I make it or not. Now the crowd going crazy, they watching the play and I'm watching the clock. Got my shot in the air and the buzzer go off and I'm watching it drop. This team did things, MJ shot. D-Rose too big, too fast, too strong history. And we good on that. Put Jilla on the track and we good on wax. 3, 2, 1. Everybody say Bulls on tap. Bulls on tap. Our city pretty and gritty. Benny the bull in the crowd getting hyper and litty. Me, I'm so drippy and slippery. Nothing offends me. Banners on banners, we winners. We got the stats in the news. Go and subscribe. Hang out with Buzzy and Goose. Tapping with us, we the truth. Jilla just murdered the booth.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bulls on Tap. I'm your boy Buzz. I'm joined by my dude Goose, aka Bulls Scripted. We're just checking in today, man. We're just checking in. We're going to talk some NBA playoffs. We're going to talk some Bulls news, stuff like that. Before we do, though, be sure to go to ontapsportsnet.com for other Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us on Twitter at BullsOnTap, at OnTapSportsNet. Following Goose at Bulls Scripted, me at BuzzOnTap. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to us. 5-star rating and review because that's cool and tough. If you're a gambling person, go to betrivers.com, use promo code ONTAP. They'll match up to $250 of your first deposit. That's $500. So you should do that because that's more money than I got. So go do it right now. Bet Rivers. Man, it's like our last episode. I just looked it up during the cool little intro thing. Was April 27th. And it was and it's titled The Chicago Bulls Are Eliminated.
Why'd you have to bring that up?
Well, because that was the last time we were here because they were eliminated. We took a well-deserved little vacation after pumping out 71 episodes in an 82-game season this year. 71. We did a lot this year.
I think our math might be a little off because we did play 5 extra games, so 87 games.
71 and 87. Still very good. I also forgot to tell the people, if you're watching on Twitter, get off the Twitter, please. Come over to YouTube, subscribe to the OnTap Sportsnet YouTube channel, hop into the comment section, because if you comment on Twitter, we can't see it because Elon Musk or something. I don't know. Anyway, hopefully he can fix that. How you been, man? How are you enjoying these NBA playoffs, first of all?
I'd be lying to tell you that I'm enjoying them from a Bulls fan standpoint, from a basketball standpoint. I'm loving it. Watching Luka do every single one of the Suns players that's supposed to be elite in this category. I don't know if you saw that stat, but he out-assisted CP3. He outscored Booker.
Out-rebounded
Ayton. Had more steals than Mikal Bridges.
Yeah. That's wild. It's wild.
Seeing that kind of play from one player, especially in a 7-game series that they just destroyed them in. Awesome stuff to watch as a basketball fan. Watching the Celtics kind of figure it out and not blow up their core of 2 very elite young wings. Not so great because that's something we're going to have to deal with for the foreseeable future. And obviously they took out the Bucks without Middleton, which we were not able to do. But it hurts watching these players because we traded Jimmy Butler to tank to get our own Tatum, to get our own Doncic. We had horses in these lottery races, and I guess that's one positive anniversary we'll get to touch on at some point tonight, is not being in the lottery. But it hurts watching players that your team tanked for go to the conference finals at such a young age, because you know that is what they're capable of and what you're going to see for them for the foreseeable future. And
I gotta tell you, the Boston thing. So I went back, and believe it or not, I listened to earlier episodes of Bulls on Tap when we were cooking. I mean, we were fucking cooking, and it was great. You know, we were throwing gas on everything. Me and you were talking DEFCON 5 shit. Like, we're on the way. We're doing something great. And I had said about Boston, which from you, it didn't really take, you didn't give me too much pushback on it, but you did not discard them. So I give you credit for that, because I did. I'm like, fuck, give me Boston the first round. How wrong was I?
I had the same. Well, we were on the same page. I mean, matchup wise.
Yeah, but I threw them to the curb. You kind of said, okay, yeah, they can give. I think they can give us a little bit of a problem, but I think the Bulls can beat them. But I was just like, fuck that, give me them. And I was wrong. Look what they did. Look what they've done.
But are you wrong? Matchup wise, they didn't have a Giannis. They didn't have an Embiid. They didn't have an Adebayo. In terms of our weakness, down low, and in terms of size, I still think that you were right. I mean, you're probably cooking with a little too much gas.
If I do it, I do it big.
It's all right.
Right.
But in terms of like the logical standpoint of it, I don't think you were wrong, because a lot of people are in the same mindset in terms of matchup. Zach and DeMar, Tatum and Brown. But obviously the big factor there is both Brown and Tatum play great defense, where both Zach and DeMar don't.
See, this is why I'm so glad we're talking about this, because and it's gonna, like, just so everybody knows, there's no outline tonight. We are just literally bullshitting because we haven't really talked to each other, I mean, besides text messaging, since the season ended. Who is the best player in the playoffs right now? I have to ask you, because you're talking about Tatum, you're talking about Luka, you brought both of them up. Who has been the best player? I have to say, honestly, Luka. Luka Doncic is doing this with Spencer Dinwiddie, former Chicago Bull, as the second best player on his team, essentially, here. You know, outside of
they acquired at the deadline for Porzingis, who was supposed to be his co-star and savior.
Yeah, how odd! What a fall from grace was Porzingis, huh?
So was Porzingis ever really that good, or was he just on the Knicks?
I just think he was a shiny new toy on the Knicks who did some cool things because he was kind of like a unicorn, but he has battled a lot of injuries, and I just don't think he ever recovered from that. I don't know.
So he's a unicorn with a broken horn.
Yeah, basically. You know, who are unicorns is Luka and Jason Tatum right now, and I just don't know which one you'd rather have. Our guys are in here talking about Jordan Miller, Brian Billick, and Tupac.
I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less from the boys in the comments, but
I missed
but I mean, they're probably going to answer the question for us here. I mean, do you have the Celtics winning the Miami series?
I do. I do.
I think the team that's playing the best with the best player on their team probably makes that happen, especially if Time Lord can actually come back and play consistently, kind of thing here.
Right.
So, and then same thing on the other side, but I do think Luka's going to have a hard time getting past the chemistry.
Yeah, see, that's where I have it. I have it as Golden State and Boston, as much as I don't want to, because let's just be honest here. Jalen Brunson is a guy that struggled, I felt, to get into the league. You know, Spencer Dinwiddie fell out of the league. That happened. He fell out of the league. And these guys are supporting roles to arguably a top 3 player in the NBA right now. And they are in the conference finals. How do you not root for that?
I mean, and given Jalen Brunson's pedigree from Villanova, he's got that in him. He knows how to win. He knows what it takes to, battle it out in these high-pressure situations. And obviously Spencer's overcome, like you said, almost completely fallen out of the league, almost having a career-ending injury, and he's battled injuries his whole career. So having the opportunity now next to a superstar like Luka, he's taking full advantage, because was it Game 7 where he was like 11 of 14?
That was Game 7. Are you talking about Spencer Dinwiddie?
Yes.
Yeah, he scored, like, Luka had 35 and Dinwiddie had 30, I believe.
On 14 shots.
Yeah, he fucking went insane, and it looked really great, and that gave me like that little sense of like, wow, I'm like, man, he might be the guy next to Luka to help him get through this playoff stretch. And yes, Jim, you can braid my beard.
Definitely the guy to get them through this playoff stretch. But do you think not having that giant of an ego, being willing to take a little bit more of a backseat than, say, somebody like a Zach LaVine necessarily would? Do you think that's the right combo there for Luka? Because it is very much the Luka show in Dallas.
I think Luka wants to win, and I think that if you can accept that Luka is going to be the point forward, then you can play next to him. If you want to be the guy with the ball in your hands all the time, then you can't play next to him. Because you can't. So
you're saying it is on everybody else outside of Luka to accept that, because that is a proven formula.
Right.
Okay.
If he's a top 3 player in the league and you're going to play with him, the first thing you need to do is accept that you're not the best basketball player on that team. If you can't do that, then you can't play with him.
All right. No, I think that's perfectly put.
I mean, his usage rate is, Goose is through the fucking roof, you know? Like, I mean, it's in the numbers there. If you have a smart agent and Zach LaVine, let's use Zach LaVine here, is like they talk about sign and trade deals. He's an unrestricted free agent. He does not need to do business with the Bulls if he does not want to, period. If he wanted to go there, everybody's like, oh, him and Luka together would be great. No, Zach would be pissed and standing in the fucking corner. I'm telling you now. Because Luka demands that ball more than DeMar DeRozan does. I mean, it's just point blank.
If you're trying to expand on your shoe deal, you've got 2 years of DeMar left here in Chicago. He's helping you build your legacy by helping you gain the perception of a winning player, learning the things that he does and has done to stay healthy and effective to this point of his career. You have that mentor who did steal some of your spotlight, but at the same time, the future is bright for you here in Chicago. It is your team if you sign on the dotted line to stay here, because DeMar's not going to be here.
Well, we should talk about that a little bit too. So, but before we do, so you have Golden State and Boston coming out. Is that correct? You basically echoed my sentiments on that. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's totally fair. I think we all know why. I don't mean to doubt Jimmy Butler. I do not hate Jimmy Butler. I thought the move at the time was the right decision because I don't think Jimmy's good enough to win you a championship. And the people that are already celebrating over Jimmy being in the conference finals, okay, that's great. You know, it's great that he's in the conference finals, but he does not have a ring.
Jimmy, and I don't want it to ever be that. I want to see Jimmy Butler get a ring. Like, I love Jimmy. Jimmy's story from coming from nothing, being an underdog, being the last pick in the first round. Like, Jimmy is an anomaly. Like, I want everything for Jimmy. I don't ever want it to be Bulls fans against Jimmy Butler because Jimmy's in a different spot. But I say that to preface saying you have to look at what the Miami Heat had and what they hit on in the draft, in the lottery, outside of that, in undrafted free agency.
I mean, they have a fucking mastermind owner or whatever Pat Riley is.
When you can hit guys like Tyler Hero, who just won 6th Man of the Year pretty handily, you have Bam Adebayo, who's a great two-way player that you hit late in the lottery. Like, when you have all these star hits, these star-level players on rookie contracts before you have to pay them, like, you can pay Jimmy Butler $50 million and then extend those guys on that money and just eat the cap because you're Miami. And you're capable of doing that. So it's a lot different than what the Bulls had here with Owen Wade and no assets and absolutely nothing to build around besides fucking Jerry and Grant. Like, there was no hope here besides.
Oh my God. Jerry and Grant, dude. Oh.
So, it's a drastically different situation. And I hate when people continue to bring it up. It's like, the right move at the right time for the Bulls.
Listen, it's 2022 now. That was 2017. It is what it is. At the time, Jimmy Butler's trade led to the dismissal of Gar and Pax. I mean, it's true. It did.
That's the crowning achievement of the Jimmy Butler trade.
Yeah, that is. So all the people that hated them before, like, must have been really. I mean, Jimmy helped us after he was already gone, apparently, because they couldn't fucking whatever they sold.
Teams has Jimmy been to?
Minnesota, Philly, Miami. So he's been on 4 teams in his career, and you know what? He's left a wake of drama in 3 of those franchises. And hey, we saw some this year with Miami, but they're winning. Everybody forgets when you're winning. Everybody forgets.
I mean, Jimmy caused a shit ton of drama towards the end of the season, walked into the playoffs.
Udonis Haslem was going to whoop that ass. Remember, we talked about that on the show.
Well, maybe Udonis did whip that ass, or Jimmy whipped his ass and just walked into the playoffs with all the confidence in the world from winning the David versus Goliath kind of battle there.
Right.
Because Jimmy has been phenomenal in these playoffs.
Yeah, he's been honestly, he's been
I'm not taking Boston out of spite. As good as Jimmy's been in these playoffs, Boston has been better as a team to finish the year. They started out so bad. And to get hot when they got hot and to carry that into the playoffs, I don't see them losing until they meet a Golden State, and maybe not even then.
Right, absolutely. That's a good take on it. So, transitioning into the Bulls news here, real quick, we're going to start with Zach. Zach is going to be getting surgery at some point, another scope in the knee. Okay, now, media outlets here around Chicagoland area, in Chicago, whatever, national media outlets are all talking about, is this guy deserving of a max contract? You have fans on Twitter. I know you live on Twitter too, talking about, oh, he's not worth it, or oh, he's worth it. I'm not going to go back to the whole max contract thing. If you listen to the show, you know that Goose and I are for a max contract because that's just the going rate for a player like that these days. That's the NBA. I don't know why you guys are so upset about it. It's not your fucking money. I don't get it. Anyway, moving on from there. This knee injury is a little scary to me because it's popped up here and there. With tweaking the knee, led to back spasms this year. I don't think it scares me enough to not extend a contract offer, and it definitely doesn't scare me enough to lowball him. I don't know about you. I'm not scared of the knee injury. I think that it'll be resolved. I think it'll be okay. There's a knee injury I am worried about, but we'll get into that after your opinion on Zach.
I don't think there's another option that helps the Bulls outside of paying Zach. I'm sure there's some sign and trade scenarios that could be mutually beneficial if Zach does genuinely want to go elsewhere. There's only a few teams that could really make the cap space to pay him outright. And at that point, if you're Zach and you genuinely want to win, they have to have flexibility to make other moves. So generally that would involve a sign and trade to, keep cap space to make other additions to further build upon the move that you made there. Right. So, but in terms of the Bulls, no, you don't bring anything but the full platter of meats to the table.
Yeah, that's just on the table already.
For Zach.
Yeah.
If you say, Zach, if you want the 3-year option at the most that we can give you now to play here because you want to do free agency again in 3 years and you're confident in yourself, and then you get that veteran max money, that $45-50 million payday that scares the shit out of everybody, but you're confident in yourself to take a 3-year to the point of the season where it makes you eligible for that at your point in your career, and then you can re-explore free agency, or you can double down with us and we'll give you the fat bag because we have that much faith in you. We'll do that for you if that's what you want. Otherwise, we'll offer you the 5. We'll give you the extra year. We'll give you the max we can give you. We want you here. Everything they've done suggests that. Had Garpax still been here, we're not talking this dance.
No, I'm definitely thinking. I think it'd be an exact mirror image of 2017 NBA draft, if you ask me. If they were still here, like that would be exact. It'd be exact.
Flipping him just like they flipped Jimmy.
Yep. Oh God, absolutely.
No, he would probably already be gone.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's a ton of fans that are like that. My old man, he's like that. He didn't think Zach LaVine's number one guy. But I mean, he, when I tried to explain to him how a max contract works these days, it's just kind of the going rate for somebody like him, but
it's a players league. And
right.
If you don't have players, you might as well not enter the season.
Right.
Is Zach maybe even a top 15 guy? Probably not.
I would definitely say top 25, top 20.
Yeah, no, I mean, with 30 teams in the league, if you have a top 30 guy, you have to pay that guy that money.
Right.
It's plain and simple. If you want to keep your horse in the race, you have to do it. It's the going rate.
Right.
And there's really no arguing with it, especially when the only leverage you have is that extra year and the extra funds, because otherwise any other team can offer that player a grand situation that's tailored to them. We saw DeJounte Murray post Zach in a Spurs jersey.
Yeah.
Probably gonna get that tampering fee, but Zach and him have a history that kind of ties back to their roots in Seattle, and we hinted at trying to trade for him last year, but now the Spurs might kind of have the upper hand here. It would be very hurtful to watch Zach go to the team that we got DeMar from in a sign and trade.
Yeah, it'd be very odd, but I just don't see anything the Spurs have that would entice us here for that level negative.
They can actually make the cap space, though. So
yeah, I would need picks on picks, though. You realize that? Like, I would.
Yeah, but they might not have to offer that, is what I'm saying.
Oh, no. If he just went there unrestrictedly, right.
Yes, the Spurs are one of the few teams that could, I believe, actually make enough cap space.
I think
Zach
they can,
was dead set on leaving to go elsewhere,
right.
To get Zach.
Yeah, would that be wild, man, wouldn't it?
God, you can have DeMar.
We know we're getting Zach next year, so that's fine. Yeah. That's fine.
Enjoy your year.
Yeah, I definitely think it was I definitely think it's gonna be interesting because I'm pretty sure he's back, but I do have that little thing in the back of my head, like I could just see some shit waking up one morning and just seeing across a little ticker on your phone, like Zach LaVine signs with the Spurs and joins a longtime friend DeJounte Murray or whatever.
The theorist in me is a little concerned that the fact that both of our clutch sports athletes have knee issues and a whole bunch of leverage going into the offseason. Like, you're not sold on Zach LaVine? Well, Lonzo's not sold on his knee ever being good again either.
It's like, you're not going to pay our client, huh? You don't want to pay our client?
You don't want Zach? Well, you don't get Lonzo anymore either.
It'll be a real big shame if Lonzo Ball he just didn't feel comfortable running. It'd be a real shame, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're going to try. We're going to try to ramp it up here, but it's just not good.
Yeah, so I do have to say that whole situation.
I never thought of it like that. That sucks.
Being the headline of our offseason here before the season's over kind of stings a little bit. That's where those little bit of Ayton possibilities were giving me a little bit of hope, because that was a positive thing I could put my mind on, as opposed to the whole clutch sports situation we got going on here.
That's a good point by Alex Rude. What if San Antonio did move up in the lottery, got into the top 3, and line up a sign and trade deal that way? I'll tell you what. I don't know. I got to sleep on it. I haven't
paid enough attention to this draft or this draft class because I didn't expect to have a pick to really get excited about anything there.
I really like this draft, and the reason I really like this draft is I think it's not so top heavy as we've seen in the last couple of years, right? Like, I feel like there's some talent throughout it. The Bulls are at 18, and I think they're going to get a player that can contribute, especially with a front office like Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley. I think they can get somebody that can, I'm not saying change the game right off the bat, but can contribute on a better level than a Troy Brown Jr. or Tony Bradley or somebody like that did, or Derek Jones Jr. I think they could do a lot of that. I mean, this draft I'm actually pretty excited about because, again, you look at the top few, right? And you look at Chet Holmgren's probably going to go number 1. I don't think he should be locked, but he's probably going to go number 1. You have Jabari Smith, you got Shaden Sharp, you got Jaden Ivey. I mean, there's some really great talent at the top of this draft. But then as you start going down a little bit, it's still pretty decent. You find some defenders, you find some shooters and stuff like that. But I mean, a top 3 pick.
Far enough to 18?
Yeah.
Did either of those 3 guys make you feel comfortable in getting your own Doncic or Tatum if the Spurs offered that? Do you think the Spurs, instead of making cap space for Zach LaVine, are going to go, we'll offer you a number 3 overall pick? Because I don't think so.
I can't answer it right now.
I think they'd ship absolutely everything else off of their roster to clear cap to keep Murray, Zach in a number 3 pick, because you can add veterans minimums, you can find undrafteds, you can build around those 3 guys for the foreseeable future and have something legitimate. I don't.
Yeah, if they got into the top 3, I mean, that they could do something like that, because once again, we do not have the leverage on Zach LaVine, so that can definitely happen. I just do want to throw out here that I agree 100% with Alex Rude out of Auburn, Jabari Smith. I think that he will be the first pick in the NBA draft. That dude's unbelievable. If you get a chance to check out the highlights on him, he's a fucking nasty player. He's very, very good, very athletic, explosive as hell. I really like him a lot. But yeah, I don't know. I would have to sleep on that if they offered the number 3 pick. But like you just said, Zach could be like, fuck it. I'll just take the last year. I'll go get a little core group here going in the West. And, the West is getting a little old, I mean, look at the teams at the top. It's Golden State and it's Phoenix. I mean, you do have a one-man show almost. I know we just kind of praised Dinwiddie and Brunson, but you got a Luka Doncic show over there in Dallas. Maybe they could do some damage, I think, if those guys got together, for sure. The number 3 pick for Zach LaVine. I don't know. It doesn't feel like this isn't 2K. It doesn't feel right to me right now. I don't think I like it.
I don't think a team offers it. We couldn't get a number 3 for Jimmy Butler, or we'd have Jason Tatum or
All right.
Like,
could you imagine? And we were just talking about that draft the other day. Markelle Fultz, 2017 NBA draft. Markelle Fultz, Lonzo Ball, Jason Tatum.
And De'Aaron Fox is who I wanted at number 5. So.
Yes, you did. That's wow, man. We got Lowry that draft.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, whatever. What can you do?
Lowry gave us some moments.
He did. He gave us moments.
I can't be too mad at Lowry. He's the reason we have this draft pick too, I believe. So
yeah, he is actually. He is because of Cleveland. Now let's talk about Lonzo Ball. Are you worried? I'm terrified. I'm fucking terrified. I was to say it right off the bat. I don't know what's going on. They keep finding discomfort after surgery.
I'm not gonna overreact.
I'm gonna
to the same news that we got before the playoffs when it was worth overreacting about because it mattered. Right now, it does not matter. Why are you even trying to ramp Lonzo Ball up right now? Like, let that man fucking settle in, enjoy a couple vacations, relax, get right, get in the right mindset, because more times than not, when you've had these knee injuries, it's not even so much the structural or the ability, it's your mind. You've been playing through it, playing with it for so long, and now you're hesitant, and now you're like, oh, what was that little bit of crack? I have never had a meniscus surgery. My knees pop. Like, I don't know. I think it's more of a mental thing, but I'm not going to react to the same news that I was already getting. This is already a known topic. It's not something that right now concerns me. We get to training camp and Lonzo Ball still can't ramp up, then you can find me shitting bricks in the corner of the advocate center.
I am reacting, and I'm fucking terrified. Okay, because Lonzo is like my favorite fucking player on the team, hands down. And this sucks, because I was so excited. Man, we were talking about him coming to the Bulls 2 years before he got here on this show, and when he gets here, I'm all on cloud 9, and I get 35 games. And again, we will be reviewing the whole season and stuff like that on a future podcast. We're gonna do like off-season moves and shit. We'd love for you guys to join in on that for the people that listen to the show. But yeah, I'm worried about this Lonzo shit, man, because he was like the engine that helped that car. He was like the NAS, I should say, to boost that shit up, to bring us to speed. Defended, created turnovers, got his teammates involved. I didn't feel like the offense was stagnant when he was in the lineup, and it wasn't, because it was fourth to sixth in the NBA in efficiency. When he went away, that all went away. And I'm not saying that it was just because Lonzo Ball, but I mean, he's a huge piece in what drives the car.
You can't say that it was just because Lonzo Ball, because I'm pretty sure on our last episode you argued pretty strongly against me that Lonzo.
Well, no, I know what. Yeah, I did. I don't think Lonzo would have changed the outcome of the Milwaukee series. I think it maybe would have been a little bit better, like I said on the show. But he drove the car during that hot run of the regular season. I want him as the point guard.
Lonzo is what made us fringe contenders. Without Lonzo,
right.
We were pretenders.
So I hope it's nothing that'll keep the guy out. I mean, he's only 24, dude. That's, and how people keep talking about it. I mean, even like reporters like Casey Johnson are like, God damn, like that's, even our guy Joe was like, wow, he's still having a hard time. And, they're around the team, and I don't know. I hope it's nothing. I hope it's just, news to be released because there needs to be news released.
Right. They need things to write about. So they're reacting to make you react to get clicks, and we're gonna chill. We're gonna let Lonzo. We're just gonna let Lonzo enjoy his summer, enjoy his time off, and if training camp comes around and we're hearing that Lonzo Ball isn't gonna play in preseason, then we can start freaking the fuck out.
Okay, fair, totally fair. So we touched over our Bulls topics. We got one more Bulls topic in mind here, and I have to bring it up. Have to talk about it. With the draft coming up and the Bulls having the 18th pick, okay, obviously, they're going to probably keep that and everything like that. Would you like to see a deadline, or not? I'm sorry, not a deadline deal, a trade night deal of any magnitude? Or do you want to run it back? Because a lot of people ask me that on Twitter, our opinions on like, do we want to kind of do something to shake everything up? And you don't need to necessarily have a player in mind or anything. Again, I have enough faith in AK and Mark that they're not going to do anything dumb. But do you want to run it back, or do you want to see them maybe change some things that probably should be changed?
I need to see another aggressive offseason. I think they know that on the margins in terms of the role players on this team. They need more guys that play both ends of the floor. This roster is still way too one-dimensional, and when your three best players, your three stars in Zach, DeMar, and Vooch are also all one-dimensional, their supporting cast cannot be so one-dimensional.
Does that scare you within our starting lineup that 3 of our players are one-dimensional? Because there's only so...
That was the concern in the offseason. That's why every national analyst destroyed us and told us that this wasn't going to work.
How do you put players around it to make it work, though, when you have 3 out of the 5?
You need Patrick Williams to be an imposing threat on both sides of the floor. And we only got 5 games in the regular season from him. So, I mean, before the injury. So we got, 12 total? Something like that. So you can't.
No, it was like 17 or 18 total, I think.
Okay, 17 or 18 total.
Yeah.
Okay. Under 20 games from Pat.
Right.
So maybe you have a second two-way player there if him and Lonzo are both healthy next year. But outside of that, I mean, I guess you can call. You can't even call Javonte two-way because you can't shoot a damn 3 consistently. So as much as we loved our Javonte Green power hour, you can't be relying on Javonte Green to be the guy hitting the shots for you in games, or you're going to get embarrassed some nights.
Right. So you want to see them be aggressive right off the bat then?
I want to see them be aggressive. I mean, if you feel that you need a center so bad, go grab that big fella out of Auburn if he's still on the board at 18.
Jabari Smith?
No. Well, Walker Kessler or whatever.
Oh, Walker Kessler. I thought you. Okay. I was like, what the? I was like, if he was there at 18, which he would obviously never would happen. But if he was, I'd shit bricks. I literally shit enough bricks to build a house. That's a lot of bricks.
If you feel that is a dire need on this roster, then go get it. But you traded Daniel Gafford away, who could have gave you that for Troy Brown, which we loved in the moment, not knowing that we were going to need Daniel Gafford very, very poorly, very, very badly later in the year.
Right.
But I don't feel, if you're not confident in your number 4 overall pick, taking the leap for this contention window for DeMar, Vooch, and whatever, why is an 18th overall pick going to do that for you? Go get a veteran. Right. Go get a 3-and-D guy that can help you, as opposed to taking a rookie contract, because if that's your goal, that's what you have to do. You either have to continue to go all in on this project, knowing that you're going to get Zach to sign on that dotted line long term to get to continue to build around him, or you have to pivot and you probably got to trade Vooch. It's the last year of his contract. Right. Can you trade Vooch, Kobe in that 18th? How close does that get you to 8? And if you offer him a max contract?
Yeah, I know. In the show that we're going to do, I actually have about, I would screen share right now, but I'm not going to. But I have a whole little list here of people I was looking at for the Bulls. And DeAndre Ayton, somehow, you were right, found the way to the top of the list for me over like a Rudy Gobert or anything like that. DeAndre Ayton flew up there, especially after seeing reports that he's not happy in Phoenix. I don't really know.
It's internal.
Yeah, I don't really know what the inner workings of that shit are with him. But listen, he can rebound, he can defend a bit, and he's got an offensive game on him. I think he'd be a pretty fucking good addition here, but who knows what happens. I don't really have much else, man. I mean, we have an hour before the Eastern Conference Finals start, and I know our Bulls aren't in it, but I'm fucking super excited. Like, these guys fight so fucking hard. Both these teams are.
But does that worry you? That watching these series after ours, that we are far away?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
are Mark and AK sitting there in their ivory tower going, "Oh shit"?
They could be, but I feel confident with them. I've watched them do a lot of crazy shit since they've gotten here.
Oh yeah, my confidence in them is not wavering.
Yeah,
I'm just curious if their confidence in what they threw together so quickly, despite the initial results, is wavering.
It could be. It definitely.
Do they feel their role players away, or do they feel that, well, shit, DeMar just had an MVP caliber season. He's got 2 years left on his contract. Let's flip him and get something for him. Vooch just had the worst year of his career. We didn't expect him to decline like this. Can we ride out another year? Can we convince him to take a kind of cheap veteran extension kind of thing? Because we're confident that was a fluke. Keep him around. Like, what are they thinking? Because with Zach's situation up in the air, like, you have to put on the appearance that we're all in. Like, you have to keep that face on until he signs on the dotted line, no matter what.
Right.
Whether you plan on shipping everybody out around him or not, you have to do what's going to make him comfortable to sign, because without that, you don't have any real assets.
Right. That's very true. I think if they were to look at it right now, especially within the Eastern Conference, they're far away. They're far away. Milwaukee and Boston series really kind of gave that to me, where I was just like, wow. I'm like, they're fucking far out, because listen, Giannis is the best player on the floor in that series. It's not often the best player on the floor loses like that. And especially in a game 7, dude, like that was some shit. And I know I'm not saying Giannis performed terribly. They just let him do what he's going to do. Everybody else had struggled, and that
so bad.
Yeah, and that was it.
That's built to 3-pointers around Giannis. Nobody hit a shot.
Right. I mean, it just shows you. I do think the Bulls are a little bit far away. And I don't know if it's Levine, DeRozan, and Vooch, the guys that can get you to the promised land. I would like to see them fully healthy, and I know that just seems like such a cop-out, but I mean, it's the truth, though, man. Like, we never get to see that shit here with any fucking team, ever. Like, the White Sox are always fucking hurt. The Bulls are always hurt. The fucking Bears.
Did Jerry really sell his soul to get the Bulls dynasty? Is that?
I think, yeah. Jerry he sold it twice. You know, because
so one's for a Sox ring and one's for the Bulls dynasties.
Yeah, when you're a billionaire, you have 2 souls.
Okay.
You have your normal people's soul and then your rich people's soul. So he gave both away for rings, which I'm, great, man. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So, I really
second soul only gets you 1, and then just the entire rest is just damnation.
Right. Yeah, I found out I didn't have a soul when Cody Parkey missed the kick in 2018, because I don't pray often, but I prayed to God he wouldn't miss that kick, and then when it didn't go in, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Whatever.
It's my fault.
It's my fault. It's my fault. Cody Parkey missed.
Cody Parkey spent half of his life kicking at fucking light posts.
What a dick,
to practice accuracy, and then when it came down to the final moments, he kicked like he was aiming at a light post.
Fuck him. Oh my God, this was the day I knew my soul was gone. But yeah, I don't know, man. I tell you what, they struggled against those top teams this year. And watching these playoffs, and trying not to drink too much of the Kool-Aid, we look behind.
Watching us play them and watching them play others really doesn't spell very good news for us. What does that say for Zach, though? Does that tell him to get the fuck out while he can?
Oh, I mean, I think Zach's going to chase the bag. I think
he's going to chase the bag in the stardom too. I mean, I think you have to, but does this season make him realize that there's a lot of guys in this league that might make him a number 2? Like, where does that push you? Like, does that push you to say, screw it, I'm going to go join LeBron. I want to play with one of the best players to ever do it before he retires and learn how to win from him? That might be my only chance. Or do you go, give me all the money in the world that I can acquire, because this is where I can get it, and I have a chance to be that dude here because they don't have another option. Like, what do you want? Like,
I think Zach wants. See, that's where I feel bad right now, is because we've always spoke so highly, and we continue to do so. But I think that Zach, I do think that Zach wants to be the guy. That's why I told you I believe he returns.
So we're good. We're sitting pretty.
I think so. I think that they need to add. I don't know if he's 1A though, man. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know, because I'll tell you what, when the season started, even with DeMar was balling before Zach had that knee tweak in January against Golden State, Zach was doing Zach shit from 2020, like 25, 5, and 5 on great percentage. And he was doing that with a guy who was taking the ball away from him more than he's ever experienced here in his time in Chicago. He was still doing it. I think what Zach needs to do is take a long, hard, this is going to sound so stupid, take a long, hard look in the mirror and be like, man, I can, like, he needs to compare himself to somebody. And everybody's like, oh, I want to be the first me. Fuck that. There's been a billion people in the fucking world all the time.
Zach is the first him, though.
He needs to look at, well, he just shouldn't be. He needs to look at himself. He shouldn't be. He needs to look at himself in the fucking mirror and be like, you know what, man? I know I'm a better scorer than Jimmy Butler. Okay. And this is who he needs to compare himself to, because that guy was here. So he was traded for. I'm a better scorer than Jimmy Butler. What I need to do is adopt his relentlessness. Even if I'm not as good as him on defense, just be a fucking pest on that end of the ball. And that's what he needs to do. I don't think he'll do that, but that's what he needs to do.
I think you just picked the wrong person. You can't expect somebody to acquire the hunger of a Jimmy Butler when you're Zach LaVine.
I'm saying be a pest. Don't expect yourself to get up there, but just try to be a pest. You can form what you want to do. You can look at people and be inspired.
Who are the guys that have that? They're the Pat Bevs, or the Jimmies, they're the guys that struggled in real life that Zach hasn't had to grovel like that.
That's very true.
Zach's a good point. So like I said, we got to pick somebody else for Zach to chase after because he ain't gonna find that Jimmy struggle.
I love Pat Bev, bro.
Mentality. Oh no, yeah, everybody. There's definitely two sides of the Pat Bev story with what he's been going out and saying.
We call him Cone. You know why? Because we dribble around cones.
You have people that hate him right now, and you have people that are like, I want more of that.
Fuck the people that hate him. He's awesome.
I want more of that kind of guy, because even if that's just his truth, I want more NBA players' truths instead of guys like Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless's truths. Their truths get exposed all the time. If you're going to lie to me, I want it to be because you're lying to me about Chris Paul being called a cone by everybody. Because that's some good
That was just great television. It really was. But first of all, who woke up in the morning from ESPN and goes, you know who'd be great on this show? Patrick Beverley. With a guy, I mean, maybe they think like I do, because I guess it does make great television, but you can see Stephen A. couple times was like, this fucking dude, you know.
Did you see the clip with JJ Redick and Beverly today? He tried to say that. He tried to compare.
Wait, Redick? Because I like Redick.
Redick and Beverly were on with Stephen A. today, and they were talking about Jimmy Butler and Giannis. Redick dropped stats on him pretty much saying Giannis was above average for a mid-range shooter this year. Jimmy Butler is not really a perimeter player. And Stephen A. went to go, well, Jimmy Butler missed time this year. And he just looked at him and goes, what does that have to do with his shooting percentages? That has nothing to. And they both just shut Stephen A. down and were just making him look so bad. And I'm just sitting there. I'm sure you'll look it up when we
I'm 100% going to do that, because I saw the shit with Redick going at that Mad Dog Caruso. And, you know, I know or Russo. I'm sorry. I said Caruso. Chris Russo, I believe his name is. But he does Mad Dog Radio, and he was on the MLB Network. That's how I knew who that guy was. And from various, reading columns that he's written in the past and everything. I think he's a fucking idiot. And, I mean, through and through. I don't, and even if people are like, oh, don't say that stuff on the podcast, he might burn a bridge. Fuck that bridge. Fuck him. Anyway, he's a dick, Goose. He's a dick.
I've only seen a few clips of him, but he definitely wants to be Skip Bayless so bad that he's willing to put all of his money on Bob Cousy.
Yeah, right. But Redick shutting him down was just great. So I can't wait to see Stephen A. get shut down again. They got to keep doing this. ESPN's doing something right. Look at them. They're doing something right. But fuck it, man. You got anything else to say before we ride out here and watch Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals?
Please don't leave us, Zach LaVine.
I do echo that. And if you do, I'm going to be super fucking pissed. Not that you care, because you'll have two souls because you're rich.
Recruit KD. It looks like the Brooklyn Tower's falling down.
People bitching about Kyrie. Oh my God, that's one more thing we need to talk about. We don't really need to talk about it, but do you see that fucking Nike pulled Kyrie's shoe deal or something?
Yes, they're not looking to extend
or extend it.
His contract. Yes.
Yeah, dude. No, yeah, Brooklyn's going down, man. KD's gonna get out of that shit, and he's gonna come to Chicago, and he's gonna give us good 2 years here. I'm telling you, I feel it.
That Kukoc 7 was some foreshadowing. He's coming to bring us 7. I don't know when it's happening, but it's happening.
Oh my God, dude. 7-7.
It's happening.
Oh my God, that'd be so amazing. All right. That's all I got. You got, besides having Zach come back, you got anything? Nope, you got nothing. All right, everybody, be sure to go on TapSportsNet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us on Twitter at BullsOnTap, at OnTapSportsNet. Following Goose at BullsScripted, me at BuzzOnTap. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to us, 5-star rating and review, because that's cool and tough. We will also let you guys know when we are going to do the season recap show. And we'll throw some shit on Twitter of like, bring your own to the comment section, bring your own plans on people you want and why you want them, and we'll just make a fucking whole thing out of it. Maybe even add people in on this fucking thing with us so we can just kind of talk it out and have a fun time, interactive time with it. But that's what we'll do. We'll announce that shortly on Twitter whenever we can hammer out a date. Until then, I would say let's go Bulls, but they're they're not playing. So
Go
heel.
Cancun.
What did you say?
Let's go Cancun.
Let's go Cancun or heel Lonzo heel.